This woman, known for strange behavior and many names, describes the prime suspect in the disappearance of this Nassau County mother of three who is now feared dead.
Cummings and Seibert were working together at Tangle's hair salon in Yulee the day she was last seen.
Her body has never been found.
What happened between the two inside the salon?
I think Jolene's dead, and I think you know where Jolene is.
Seibert, whose real name is Kimberly Kessler, has lived a double life for years.
We counted more than 60 names of the words Satanist, witch, and evil murderous gang.
I tried to stay off of Kim's radar because, quite honestly, she was a scary individual.
She bit your dad in the leg?
Yes.
And she stabbed you in the chest?
I already knew she was creepy. Lord kind of blessed me on pegging that one right.
The FBI may be trying to answer whether Kessler could possibly be a serial killer.
When we provide all the details, I believe our community will be shocked.
The woman charged with killing a Nassau County mother of three blames a conspiracy by the Illuminati.
I say it's because it's the Illuminati. I think that that's just what is happening.
It's another bizarre twist in the case of the disappearance of Jolene Cummings.
Kessler wants a new attorney today, calling her current one, quote, a piece of garbage.
She's just advised me at the podium that I am a piece of garbage.
As we've seen during past court appearances, Kessler started yelling and wouldn't stop.
Jordan Beard is Johnson's nephew. Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
Jordan Beard is Jolene's cousin. Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
Jordan Beard is Jordan Beard is Jolene's cousin.
Jordan Beard, Jolene Cummings' cousin. What, you don't want the public to know that? You don't want them to know?
Yeah, exactly. Jordan Beard is Jolene's cousin.
Jordan Beard is Kessler's former public defender, who is not Cummings' cousin.
Kimberly Kessler appeared cheerful, even slightly smiling at times. It didn't last.
Assistant public defender.
Public defender's office.
She is completely undressed and has feces smeared on the window.
I want her behind out of our jail because we are fed up with her crap.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Today I want to talk about Kimberly Kessler, as my dog is trying to get out of the room, aka Jennifer Seibert, aka she has like 25 aliases, and the sheriff actually thinks she's a serial killer.
I don't for 1 second believe that Kimberly Kessler, or whatever name she's going by today, I don't believe this is her first murder.
She went missing in 2004, we'll talk about that later, and then she turned up 14 years later when she was arrested for the murder of Jolene Cummings. Now, Jolene Cummings' body has never been found, and she has this crazy ex-boyfriend that she got into a huge fight with. The cops were called just a few days before she went missing. So the whole thing is crazy, a lot of twists and turns. So I want to do what I usually do on my channel, which is I want to give you guys the facts, we'll discuss the theories, and then you can decide for yourself. So the whole thing started in 2004 when Kimberly Kessler went missing. From the beginning, her disappearance was considered suspicious by the cops because, quote, her family said that she was going south to meet up with someone and assumed the identity that she got from a tombstone, later found to be that of Jennifer Seibert. Now remember, Jennifer Seibert is the name she was using when she was interacting with Jolene Cummings. So Kimberly and Jolene both work at Tangle's, and according to people who work there and witnesses, Jolene was on to Kim. She said things like, quote, she's not who she says she is, that she's gonna look her up, that she's fake.
She told defendant, go away, I don't like you. You fake, go away, I don't like you.
The last time anyone saw Jolene alive was on May 12th, 2018. That was the day that both Jolene and Kimberly were working at Tangle's. There was no one else working there. There were clients who were there that day and saw their interaction. The next day, which is May 13th, is Mother's Day, but also Jolene's birthday. She was supposed to pick up her kids from her ex-husband, and so it was really weird when nobody could reach her on that day, and she never showed up to pick up her kids. Her ex-husband said he waited like an hour, and he had somewhere to be, so he dropped the kids off at her mom's house. So now her mom is like, okay, that's really weird. She's not answering the phone. She didn't show up to pick up her kids, and it's Mother's Day, it's her birthday. It's very weird. So the mom starts freaking out. The next day, she still hasn't seen or heard from Jolene, so she calls the cops and reports her missing. When Jolene is reported missing, the cops go to her home. At her home, they don't find her, but they find a crazy mess of things strewn about. Remember, this crazy fight happened when her ex-boyfriend showed up and the cops were called. It says, the report was in reference to a domestic disturbance involving Jolene and her ex-boyfriend, Jason Ashley G. The report indicated that Mr. G became angry when Jolene told him he could not stay at her home because he had an outstanding warrant for his arrest. The report indicated that during the incident, Mr. G damaged several kitchen cabinet doors in the home. The report indicated that Jolene stated no physical violence took place during the incident. The report indicated that Mr. G left the home prior to arrival of law enforcement. So police are trying to find him. They don't know where he is. Now that Jolene is missing a few days after this incident, he's looking like the prime suspect. And so now police really want to find him. In the meantime, right, the last person who was also at Tangles with Jolene the last time she was seen, which is May 12th, was Kimberly Kessler, aka Jennifer Seibert. At this point, everyone thinks she's Jennifer Seibert. So one of Jolene's close family and friends starts texting Kimberly/Jennifer.
This is one of those text messages Vicki Simmons sent to Kessler, who at the time went by one of her alias names, Jennifer Seibert. Simmons tells Kessler Cummings is missing. She then asks if Cummings mentioned birthday plans that weekend before she disappeared. Kessler responded, not answering the question, but said she hoped Cummings was okay. Simmons asked Kessler again if Cummings told her about any plans she made. Kessler responded saying Cummings didn't tell her about any plans. Simmons sent Kessler another text saying that Cummings' mother filed a missing persons report. She asked Kessler if she remembered what Cummings was wearing the last time they worked together. Simmons also spoke about how Cummings recently filed an order of protection against her ex-boyfriend. Kessler stated she could only remember that Cummings might have been wearing dark-colored pants. Another text message shows Simmons implying that detectives want to speak with Kessler and that it was starting to look bad that she hadn't already. Kessler claims she had already spoken with detectives that morning. She then said she sends blessings and prayers.
So then once officers find out that the last place Jolene was seen alive was at this Tangles hair salon, they go to the salon and Kimberly Kessler shows up, realizes the cops are there while she's in the parking lot. She sees the cop cars and stuff, and she just backs up and leaves. They don't really get to see her, nothing. She's completely gone now. They can't find her, right? In the meantime, when they're at this hair salon Tangles, they notice small little droplets of blood. They're taking evidence. They're asking questions. The next day after that, a bunch of major developments happen. Now, this is May 15. All of a sudden, Jolene's car turns up at a Home Depot parking lot. The car has nothing in it. The keys aren't in the car. Jolene's purse is not in the car. Jolene's cell phone is not in the car, and neither is Jolene. The other thing that they find, other than Jolene's car, is the crazy ex-boyfriend.
The man described as a person of interest in the mysterious disappearance of a mother from Nassau County goes before the judge. That man is Jason G. He is the ex-boyfriend of Jolene Cummings. The mother of two has been missing since Saturday. The sheriff called G a person of interest in her disappearance.
2 counts of possession of a controlled substance, and the judge said he must remain behind bars for now, not giving him bond. G kept crouching down as if he was trying to avoid our cameras.
So they find him. It says, quote, Cummings' ex-boyfriend G was found by deputies hiding in a house in Hilliard under some cardboard boxes. He was arrested on an outstanding warrant for violation of probation. Deputies also wanted to see if he had any information on Cummings' whereabouts. The sheriff said that G refused to answer any questions about her, meaning Jolene, and demanded a lawyer. Then, after some digging, it was revealed that this crazy ex actually had a history. He had 2 domestic incidents that are actually insane. So it says here that one of the girlfriends that he had in 2011, she said that she had to file a restraining order against him. And the documents from court records show that when he was with her and their 2 kids, he assaulted her in the car, forced her neck against the seat, and grabbed her phone and smashed it. And then he told her that he was going to make her life miserable. Then he came back to her house breaking dishes and screaming at her and the kids the whole time. And she said that she thinks he did it because he was jealous that she was dating someone else. So now the ex-boyfriend's looking really guilty. They're like, okay, why did you have that fight with her? Why were you hiding? Now you don't want to answer any questions. Oh, and in your past, you've done this before. So the police question him. They also question her ex-husband, and they come out and they say, you know what? We've cleared them. Not only have they cleared them, but hey, guess what? We have a new suspect. So remember how I told you Jolene's car turned up at the Home Depot parking lot? Well, once they got the surveillance tape, they found Kimberly Kessler get out of that car after driving it and parking it. They don't see Jolene anywhere. And then from there, Kimberly goes to a gas station where she then asks for a cab, and she talks to the clerk there. There was like a whole weird conversation that he said they had.
There was a female that came into the store the other night, right here.
Yes, she had me call her a taxi.
Can you tell me what your conversation was with her?
She said something about how she was out with a couple of friends drinking, and one of the friends' ex-boyfriends came around. There had been some kind of problem. She didn't go into detail for it much after that. She went into this really weird conversation about what meth does to your body. Literally, this is what most of our conversation was about.
The day after they find this car and figure out it was Kimberly who left the car, they end up finding Kimberly. She was at a rest area, hidden in her car between 2 large semi-trucks. So she was definitely trying to hide. And they find her, they arrest her. They say it's for auto theft because, you know, she took Jolene's car. And that's when the truth starts to come out.
Kessler interacting with detectives for the first time.
Those hurting you?
No, they feel great. You can put them on cider if you want. Whatever you want to do.
We can
Not your mercy, so have as much fun as you'd like.
She flinched as detectives clipped her fingernails and claimed they made her bleed on purpose.
Guess what that's from? What? Bed bug bite like a month ago.
How'd you get those?
I have bed bugs. I've had them for years.
Oh, what, in your car?
Yeah.
How do they get in a car?
At the shelters that I stayed at, they hitchhike in everywhere. So people who have them in their house, they probably have them in their cars because I took them from the homeless shelter into my car. So sometimes they leave bruises, sometimes they just leave a red scar.
So when Kimberly Kessler was first arrested, in all the news stories and everything, she was referred to as Jennifer. That was who she was pretending to be.
What name do you want me to call you?
When you run my fingerprints through, they come up as Kimberly Lee Kessler.
There's video of you dropping her car off. We've got the video of you at when you go in and buy the bottle of water, you bought it on your credit card. We also have recovered your shoes that has Jolene's blood on your shoes. I just want you to, if something happened that you didn't intend to happen, I want to talk to you about it.
So let me reply this way, and you may not like the answer. I would like legal counsel.
Investigators have found 18 aliases in 33 cities dating back to 1996.
Christina Brooks.
Friday, it took Nassau County Sheriff Bill Leeper nearly 5 minutes just to read off all the names and cities associated with suspect Kimberly Kessler.
Her sister, Sarah Kessler, who's 15 years younger than her, says all of this is still a shock. Remember, the woman's real name is Kimberly Lee Kessler. Kessler's mother and her sister reported her missing from Butler County, Pennsylvania. That was 2004.
She doesn't like to have documents in her name because she's scared her ex-fiance would find her.
He has friends who are computer hackers, and he has hacked me, and quite frankly, I'm surprised I'm still alive.
This case is very unusual and one that I'm not sure we have ever seen in Nassau County. When we provide all the details, I believe our community will be shocked.
Police come out and they say they have bad news. From the evidence they found, it looks like they believe Jolene is dead. And that's based on the luminol showing large amounts of blood around the Tangles hair salon, as well as footage of Kimberly Kessler appearing to cover up or clean up after she seemed to have killed Jolene. There's footage of her throwing trash bag stuff in the dumpster behind the salon. And then people started coming out of the woodwork with crazy stories about Kimberly, like it was insane.
News4JAX learned Seibert, whose real name is Kimberly Kessler, was reported missing in 2004. Her sister told our News4JAX I-team, quote, "I don't know what's going on. I feel like I don't even know her. She's basically a stranger to me."
I'm not scared of many people, but she was definitely just so, angry and explosive.
I knew something was odd with her anyway because she always seemed to be hiding from something. When I would get off at night and she would still be sitting in her car out in the parking lot and kind of watch you go to your car.
One girl said that she asked if she could keep some of her sunburned skin that was peeling off.
We also discovered one of those aliases, Christina Melissa Brooks, was arrested in Virginia Beach in 1999 on a concealed weapons charge. That person is a fugitive in that case.
Tim Edwards, who dated and had a child with Kessler in 1998, who he knew as Melissa McKernan. He said she had a temper. Edwards said after her son was taken away from her in 1999, she went into social services with a handgun and tried unsuccessfully to get him back. That's the last time he talked to her. Kessler, he said, was arrested, then skipped town after that. Edwards was eventually awarded custody, and the son is now a healthy 20-year-old.
Trempis says Kimberly Kessler reached out to him on Facebook under the alias Mia Stone. He says things got weirder when she suddenly drove more than 1,000 miles from Florida to Texas to meet him. He tells me that encounter happened about a month before he got a call from investigators about the murder. He says Kessler wanted to move in with him. Now she calls the Duval County Jail home.
I didn't even want her coming out to the house when I found out she was here in San Antonio, so I met her in town. And then, after about a half-hour lunch at a Whataburger, she was just a little too weird for me.
He said she wanted to marry him, but he turned her down. Turns out Kessler was no stranger. His cousin, Kimberly McCall, tells me they were best friends when they were kids. McCall says this is a photo of Kessler with her family's horses. Did you ever reconnect as adults?
She did call me, I believe it was the late 90s, out of the blue. It was an odd time, like 3 or 4 a.m., and told me about what she had done to her brother, because she bragged to me that she bashed his teeth out with a baseball bat.
This list, 2 pages of names Kessler had stored on her iPhone, we counted more than 60 names, along with the words Satanist, witch, and evil, murderous gang.
What about someone named Grace?
Grace Darling Bartley, who died in Butler, Pennsylvania in 2009. Her cause of death isn't given, but her obit says she was married to a Tim Bartley. Both the names Tim Bartley and Wayne Bartley are also on Kessler's list of names.
My best friend was killed in a motorcycle accident. Kim's brother Bob was seriously injured in this accident. Back in the day, people had said, I don't know, maybe somebody ran them off the road, this or that. If you could just check into that.
Her ex-husband, who you also heard in the story, says she stabbed him.
Then the little strip mall where the hair salon is, there's a place next to it called Woody's Barbecue. And Kimberly used to work there before they fired her because she was crazy. And the person who worked there said that she once ordered just a pound of ground beef and just ate it with her hands. Now that's some serial killer shit. So she had a hard time keeping a job. She was always bouncing. She went to all these different hair salons in the area and then the Woody's Barbecue. So she ends up in Tangles, right? It was in Tangles that she meets Jolene. She has a bad relationship with Jolene from the beginning because when Jolene asks her for help, she hides and stays on her phone. And I was like, I don't know how to help you. And like, Jolene's getting upset. Like, what's going on? Like, this is not the way we work together. And so already there's tension between them. People are noticing that. And then Jolene starts kind of snooping and feeling like she's on to Kimberly.
She says she cannot explain it. But something about Jennifer is not right. She said, because I want to go online and look up the rap sheet and look and see the Jennifer name pop up. She not a person that she says she is.
The voice you're hearing is that of Ann Morgan, who worked at Tangle's hair salon with Jolene Cummings and Kimberly Kessler.
And the thing about Kimberly that everybody said is that she was paranoid. She was very secretive. She was fake nice.
All right, little Chica. All right, so I'm going to take...
You look at her, she's already looking at you. You know that type? And so when you have someone like Jolene who's like onto her and she's already waiting for that, it wasn't going to end well, and it didn't. Someone who worked at the salon said on May 11th, there was an incident that occurred the day before the last day Jolene was seen, which was May 12th. According to the document, Jolene was trying to talk with her colleague, but Kim appeared to be eavesdropping. The report says Jolene and the other coworker went outside and Kimberly followed. That's when Jolene's coworker said Jolene told Kimberly, "Go away, don't talk to me, you're fake, you're crazy." The next day, it appears Kimberly got rid of her. Then the news reports that the FBI is actually profiling Kimberly as to see if she's possibly a serial killer.
Possibly numerous in multiple states.
Wow. Did they actually use the word serial killer?
He did.
Once that news broke, people started trying to connect the different areas where she was living and names she was using with other missing persons case and crimes. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the theories. But it was starting to look like this is much more than anyone thought it was. And it was around this time that Kimberly Kessler began her antics in court.
Kessler is accused of murdering Nassau County mother Jolene Cummings. Kessler has pleaded not guilty.
Go forward with counsel here at the table, or you do have the right to represent yourself.
Oh yeah, back to that again. You want to put me through law school for 8 years once I pass the bar exam? Sure, I'll be more than happy to do that.
Well, your counsel is there then, unless you want to represent yourself. We're going to proceed forward.
You're fired. All of you are fired. There you go.
All right,
And
well,
I'll just yell.
All right.
Jordan Beard is Jolene's cousin. Jordan Beard is Jolene's cousin.
The judge shakes his head as Kimberly Kessler once again shouts her way into a Nassau County courtroom.
Jordan Beard!
I'm going to say what I want, when I want, how I want. Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin. Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin, and you knew it.
We may want to put her on mute while we finish this, Judge.
It's fine.
Let's just put me back on myself.
Ma'am, come back.
I want to get rid of the public defender's office. Jordan Beard is Jolene's cousin. Jordan Jolene's cousin.
You ready to begin today?
No.
Okay, Ms. Kessler, today is
Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin. Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin. Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin.
That were just, in my opinion, entertaining, but for the victim's family, probably so frustrating because it dragged on for so long. It was just, it just made a mockery of the whole thing. She would say the same thing over and over and over again, which is that Jordan Beard is Jolene Cummings' cousin. Turns out that Jordan Beard is not actually Jolene Cummings' cousin. It seems like this is a tactic that she is using to deny the counsel, thinking that if she never gets counsel, then she just delays the inevitable. And then there was a connection she claimed was a connection that was actually true.
Much harassment from Jordan Beard and from her stepfather, Mr. Johnson, who recently retired as director of the jail.
Jolene Cummings' stepfather was actually the director of the jail that she was in. And so, of course, I'm sure she screamed that a million times, and it was true. So they end up moving her to another jail. And then in that jail, she claims that they're poisoning her. So she stops eating. And that's when she starts dropping weight. She lost an insane amount of weight.
Kessler told a corrections officer, "I'm not afraid of going to hell. It's time."
They were having to force feed her. They were saying they didn't want her in their jail anymore. And then the feces, it's like no food, but all this feces.
Unsanitary behavior, such as putting her own feces on her face and on corrections officers.
She is completely undressed and has feces smeared on the window.
We are fed up with her crap.
and she smears it on her face. She smears it on the walls. She tries to throw it on the officer. I mean, ugh. Clearly she's trying to look like she's crazy, which brings into play all the competency hearings. It reminds me of Lori Vallow, but like way more extreme. She was found competent, incompetent, competent. Like it was this whole thing. In the end, they found her competent, although her attorneys kept wanting to get taken off the case, kept saying she's not competent. When Kimberly Kessler was in jail, there were some jailhouse calls that were recorded.
Hello?
Hello.
I didn't get to say goodbye. It disconnected me.
I know. No, I figured you could call me anytime.
Bail me out under my name that I'm going under, which is Jennifer Marie Seibert. And then eventually everything's all going to come together, but, it's my real name, Kim Kessler. But just, go about it, jump through the hoops like,
Okay. Oh, my God. They don't correct?
They will. You just put the money up for Jennifer Marie Seibert. I gave you my social. I gave you my date of birth. You're all set.
Oh, God. Are you warm? Are you sleeping all right? Did they give you a blanket?
No, of course not. It's terrible. I'm in jail. It's very, very bad. If you really want to help, come and get me out, so that would be great. Try to bail me out or whatever, and
because $100,000 isn't vagrancy like it.
Yeah, but it's only 10%, so it's $10,000, and yes, it is a lot of money.
Still, yeah, that's like big
That's
time.
what it's set at. They're not going to change it. Get the money back whenever you show up for the court date, and I'm going to come back because I have nowhere else to go. This is it.
This call will be terminated in 2 minutes.
He told me that he thought you were involved. They think you're involved in a missing person there.
So if you can or if you want to, please, bail me out, and I can.
I will. I'm just wondering.
To the best of my ability, I'll answer. I just got interrupted on the phone with a little message that they're going to disconnect the call again. All right, bye-bye.
All right, hang in there. Love you.
Love you too.
This call will be terminated in 1 minute.
Oh, we have 1 minute.
We got 1 minute.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
This is a prepaid call from...
Hello.
Hello.
I want to say something real quick. I know. I'm going to let you talk in just a second. Hold on.
Okay.
You've got to get that stuff before Wednesday, because on
Before Wednesday?
They confiscate it next week.
Okay, next week. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, they confiscate it, and it becomes theirs. They're making me hang up. I got to go.
No.
They're
call me back later.
I can't.
All right, love you.
I'll try.
Love
Bye.
You.
Bye. Love you. Bye.
There's absolutely nothing going on in the world.
I say it's because it's the Illuminati. I think that her people definitely are seriously involved in it, so that's just what is happening. So I got the Illuminati on.
Everybody in the whole jail knew that they were fucking poisoning my food. Everybody knew it, man.
Investigators then went to interview one of Kimberly Kessler's cellmates.
She said she had a boyfriend that was a bank robber. She was wanted by the FBI. And that she was going to write a book one day. We could read it.
An inmate told investigators that Kessler said she was done running because technology had gotten so advanced. The inmate says that Kimberly told her, quote, she had been kidnapped at 16 years old. Kimberly's mother, or mommy dearest, would sell her to men, and that she would wear jeweled masks and go out at night. And that Kimberly believed her mother made voodoo dolls with her hair to punish her. The cellmate also said that Kimberly was, quote, very inquisitive when she was asking about how another inmate hid the body. This inmate had murder charges as well. And she kept asking her, how did you hide the body? How did you hide the body? We still don't know where Jolene's body is. Okay, so finally it's time for the trial, and that's when we get a lot of bombshell evidence, tons of CCTV footage, her crazy weird Google searches, just tons of DNA evidence, witness testimony, all that. So we begin with the CCTV footage.
Kimberly Kessler inside a Nassau County Walmart. Kessler is seen purchasing multiple items in the self-checkout line: an electric knife, trash bags, and a large bottle of ammonia.
They believe Kimberly Kessler used the electric carving knife on Cummings' body after she was already dead. Detectives noted in the documents that the trash bags appeared to be heavy. Kessler struggled to lift them into the dumpster.
Video of Kessler at a nearby car wash, paying special attention to the interior of the car.
What is she trying to clean up and hide? I mean, the electric knife with the ammonia and the trash bags and the gloves. I mean, it's like she cut her up and put her in the trash bags. And then there's the footage of her that night carrying heavy bags, trying to put them into the dumpster, right? So it's like, well, where did the dumpster go? They went to the landfill trying to find it. They didn't find anything. Then they start talking about her Google searches. Now, these are incriminating, obsessive, I mean, insane.
Internet browsing history for 3 weeks leading up to Jolene Cummings' disappearance. Searches about female murderers, post-mortem bodies, psychosis, and mind-controlling drugs. The only day she didn't use the internet was on May 11th, the day before Cummings was reported missing. The day before Kessler was arrested, she spent 8 hours searching Jolene Cummings' name.
The first thing, which it shows you, okay, my conspiracy, that how calculated Kimberly is. On May 6, 2018, okay, that is a week before Jolene goes missing, Kimberly Kessler is Googling what is charged for throwing excrement in jail. A week before she supposedly kills her. She's thinking to the charge of excrement in jail. So, I mean, that is so premeditated. I don't even know. Like, you're not only that you haven't even committed the crime and you've already thought it out. Not you didn't get away with the crime. Now you got arrested for the crime. You're in jail and now you're throwing excrement in the jail. You're thinking that far. Why am I screaming? On May 8th. Okay. So 2 days after she Googles the charges for throwing excrement in jail, she creates a Pinterest. Okay. And in that Pinterest, she searched for autopsies, cadavers, and post-mortem changes. So this is what she searched the day Jolene disappeared. This is May 12th. Autopsy, cadavers, Murderpedia, Victimpedia, female murderers by country, Florida female murderers. Then on May 16th, so this is a few days after Jolene went missing, she searches Jolene Cummings, no body, no crime. She searched Jolene Cummings' name like an insane amount of times. Kimberly searched for Jolene's name 457 times in 48 hours. So, yeah, this doesn't seem like a crime of passion, heated argument, went too far. This seems calculated, premeditated AF. And the thing is, it goes back even farther. So get this. April 30th, 2 weeks almost before Jolene goes missing. This is a Google search from Kimberly Kessler's phone. It says, co-worker guilty of killing co-worker. Interesting. 12 days before, she's searching co-worker guilty of killing co-worker. Is she trying to do some research, read up on another incident like that? I don't know. As if that wasn't incriminating enough, then came the DNA evidence, and this sealed the deal. There was the luminol, then there was blood on Kimberly Kessler's boot. There was blood on Kimberly Kessler's scissors. Jolene's blood. Jolene's blood was also on her boot. A plastic tub that had a nail clipping that belonged to Jolene. So what? She clipped her nail? Maybe so if they found the body, they wouldn't find her DNA under the nail, because remember, she had a scratch on her face from Jolene. So Jolene's nails had Kimberly's DNA. So despite all this evidence, the defense came out and they kept saying, no body, no crime. How do we know maybe she's still alive?
The only thing the state can prove in this case is that there was some sort of fight.
Then it was time for the witness testimony. The other coworker who worked at Tangles, who witnessed a fight that happened, the one that I told you happened on the 11th, the day before. And her name is Ann Morgan.
Today was the second day of testimony, and we heard from a former manager at the hair salon where they both worked.
She told defend and go away. I don't like you. You fake, go away. I don't like you.
Then it was time for the jury to deliberate, and they took so long. They took a little over an hour to come back with the verdict.
Nothing but outbursts in court, but before the verdict, she acted civil when asked if she wanted to stay.
No, thank you.
All right. Do you want to go back downstairs?
Yes.
We, the jury, found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment.
Kimberly Kessler is going to prison. She faces a mandatory life sentence.
Johnson has only one request from her daughter's killer.
If you could find it within your heart to tell us where the remains of my daughter. Where are the remains of my daughter?
And then her attorneys, they filed something to dismiss everything because they still think she should have never been ruled competent to stand trial. So we'll see what happens with that. But those are the facts. Now let's discuss the theories. One theory, and this is for argument's sake because it's pretty unpopular, which is that Kimberly Kessler did not do this to Jolene, and we'll talk about that. Then the other theory is that Kimberly Kessler did do this and that this was just her first killing. Maybe she was freaked out that somebody was onto her and she just got rid of her. And then there's the third theory, which is that this is not Kimberly's first rodeo. Maybe she is a serial killer, or at least she's killed once or twice before. And then there are connections and similarities with other cases. So let's begin with the Kimberly's innocent theory. So obviously the crazy ex-boyfriend, even though police cleared him, some people, a small amount of people, still think he may be involved. They just can't shake the fact that they had this crazy fight just a few days before. They can't shake the fact that he has a past with other women doing things like that. Then he was hiding. Then he didn't seem to be cooperating. So we still don't know where Jolene's body is. So some people are like, well, okay, maybe he did it. How shocking is it really? The thing is, okay, how do you explain the blood and the evidence that's on Kimberly Kessler? How do you explain those Google searches? How do you explain that? That's the stuff that makes it seem like, okay, because that's where cops were going first. But then once they saw her dropping off the car, and then they found out about the storage unit that had the shoes with the blood speckles, and then they saw the luminol at the salon. It's like, and the last time anyone saw her was at the salon. It's like, ugh, maybe it isn't the ex-boyfriend. Maybe it's Kimberly, right? So let's talk about that. I think the case is pretty strong that she did it. There's also a very damning evidence with the Google searches that it's premeditated. She's searching about nobody and killing coworker days, weeks before it even happened. She's even searching about the excrement in jail. So that's how far ahead she's thinking. Talk about premeditated. It's premeditated. Is she a serial killer? Well, the sheriff thinks so. The FBI mentioned it. And there's a case in particular that I found people referencing on Reddit. And it's the case of Jennifer Kess. The thing that connects them is that there was the car being dropped off and abandoned and a figure. And some people are like, that figure could be a woman. What if that figure was Kimberly Kessler? And this is also a woman who went missing, who's never been found, already having changed her identity and moved to so many places. And it just seems like she's running from a lot of things in a lot of different places. Could they be murders? She had all these wigs and disguises. Like, there's this interview where this reporter is talking to someone who knew Kimberly from way back, and she mentions this incident where someone they know died in a car accident, and there were rumors that someone ran them off the road, and now she's starting to wonder if it was Kimberly who ran their friend off the road. I find it really interesting that she said that she's not running anymore because technology is making it impossible to run. And if you think about it, right, the only reason Kimberly Kessler got caught in this instance is from technology. CCTV footage, the car, CCTV footage dumping the garbage, Google searches, right? All this tech stuff, DNA. She's been running since 2004 officially, and really since the 90s, she's been doing identity theft and all this kind of stuff. Things have changed. There's a lot more tech cameras everywhere, easy access to that. I think that her tactics that maybe allowed her to get away with potentially, possibly some murders before are now no longer effective due to all this technology. And so maybe she got caught this time, but maybe back then when things were different, she got away with it. I don't know, you tell me. So I would really love to know what you guys think about this case. Do you think Kimberly Kessler is guilty? First of all, yes or no? And if you think she's guilty, do you think this is the first time she's killed someone? Do you think she's a serial killer? I think she's probably done this at least once before. At least once. Maybe the Kess case. Maybe that person from when they were younger, she ran them off the road. I don't know, she stabbed her boyfriend. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I feel like she did it before. That's my theory. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.